Well, today we're joined by Will Dubey, who is our new performance analyst. Will, welcome to Bristol Rovers. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, first of all, and how long you perhaps have known the owner?
Sure, yeah. So my background is in football analytics. I worked for a company based in London for around 4 years. I started out there looking at games, the quality ranging from Champions League level to, Pan-Asian Cup qualifiers, all sorts of football. And then I was moved on to the Bundesliga for them for about 3.5 seasons. And that involved, had relations with some Bundesliga clubs. It involved doing some scouting for those clubs. And then I left there and I met the owner around a year ago now, a little over a year, and helped him with the process of identifying clubs for takeover. So I've been looking at Rovers since around the start of the season, really, just looking at all the games, identifying the players, identifying who the manager was, the setup, and it all kind of ticked a lot of boxes, and so I helped in that process.
It sounds an interesting job. How many clubs did you actually look at that closely about purchasing?
There are a few. Obviously, I don't think it would be.
No, it would be good to name, but I'm just interested to see how many you have actually gone and looked at.
There are a couple others that we looked at, but we felt that Bristol Rovers fit exactly what we were looking for. I think obviously there's a lot that needs to be done at Bristol Rovers to take it on and carry on the upward curve that they've been on with Darryl. But the one thing that we thought Bristol Rovers had, which you can't really buy, was the core support, the fan base. That was all in place, and that's something that is very rare to come across. So it ticked a lot of boxes. So.
That tells us your background and why you've chosen Rovers. Now, moving forward, what will your role be? Performance analyst seems to me an all-embracing type of title.
Yeah. So, I think my role will kind of encompass a few different things. Obviously, the owner's going to try and be here as much as possible, and he's going to be very hands-on with it. But there's going to be times when he's not here, and there needs to be a point of contact at all times with Darryl and the playing side. So I'm kind of going to be a bit of a bridge between owner and manager, just to ensure that Darryl's got everything he needs to carry on doing the great job he's been doing. And also, I know the owner's got lots of ideas as to how to improve the academy, for example, to kind of get that really going, and to increase the scouting network, kind of working with Steve Yates to really get that a bit more extensive and a bit more in depth, because there's a lot of good local talent in this area, and we'd be silly not to really tap into that. So yeah, there's a lot to do, but I think we'll get there.
There is a lot of local talent, and the younger ones will come up through the academy. You're talking about older age groups who might perhaps come in higher up that ladder in terms of local players.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's in terms of kind of restructuring that. It's a long term. It's a long term thing. It will take a while to kind of see the benefits of that. It's going to take years and years, but it's about getting the infrastructure right. I think that's the most important thing, and then it will feed through.
Presumably, you've got contacts at a lot of clubs through your previous work, and that's where you can help Steve Yates maybe an introduction into other clubs.
Possibly, I think Steve Yates can definitely help me as well, because his knowledge of this league and how to get out of this league, how to scout players within this league is very strong. So it's a case of working together, working with Darryl, working with Weil, all to get on the same page and keep improving, because, like I say, the club's been performing really well under Darryl, and it's important that we carry on doing so.
I was thinking more in terms of loan players. Sorry, we see so many clubs go into the loan market and attract players from Premiership, Championship players. We don't have too many of them come to Bristol. We haven't had.
Well, that's a part of it. I think it's it's about getting the balance right. Obviously, with the owner coming, he brings with him a lot of connections, a lot of relationships that perhaps Bristol Rovers didn't have access to previously. So yeah, there's potential for relationships with bigger clubs, potentially, but it's about getting the balance right. There's obviously only a certain amount of players you can put in a squad, and it's about
and it's obviously establishing and forging close links with Darryl, with Steve Yates, and with the owner, and you all work together.
Precisely, yeah. I think that's how the owner sees it, and I've met Darryl, I've met Steve, and both really welcomed me, and it's exciting. I think with Darryl we've got a great young manager, and the future is really it's exciting. I think if we get the infrastructure right, if we set things up right, and with the owners' relationships, I think we can, the potential for this club is massive. So.
I think everyone's been impressed with the way the owner and everyone has spoken about evolution, not revolution, gradual change, and that seems to be to me the way to do it, rather than just come in and throw money at it and try and build it straight away. It has to be gradual, doesn't it?
I think that's the key, and the owners put a lot of emphasis on not sort of getting bogged down in making 10-year plans, 5-year plans. I think you just set yourself up for failure if you do that. It's evolutionary change, not revolutionary, and it's about getting the infrastructure right, getting the new stadium built, and hopefully in a few years' time this club will be where it could be, where it should be.
It's a challenge you must be looking forward to being in the first steps of hopefully a great deal of progression.
Yeah. I mean, it's very exciting for me. I met Weil, I think just over a year ago now. I think last January I met him, and it all kind of snowballed from there. But there were times we were looking in the year and we thought, it might not happen, and it has now. So we're all, it's only been a week, but it's barely got our feet under the table. But it's exciting, and I think it's dawning on us now the potential and how great this could all be. I think it's.
And still is a very realistic chance of a promotion at the end of this season, either via the playoffs or possibly automatic.
Yeah.
It's so tight there.
Yeah, it's very tight. I mean, I think Darryl's just zoning in on these last few games. It's going to be extremely tight. The league's, as everyone knows, is so unpredictable. But we feel like we've got a really good squad that can compete, within the playoffs or potentially going forward. So, and we know we've got the right manager. So you never know. Don't want to don't want to jinx it, but yeah.